I was talking a lot about stability. Stability is one of the qualities of great leaders. Fairness, stability, such as people. What do you need to deliver this stability? For this, I want to introduce a concept I created for myself to deliver exactly this. Imagine, my job is now for 15 years to go into very critical situations with big alphas. What do you think is happening in almost every workshop, every training, every escalation? I'm under attack. I'm under attack. Of course, I'm under attack because this is how the easiest they don't have to confront themselves. If they start to attack me and maybe annihilate me as well, then they don't have to deal with everything. They say this workshop was shit, we can go on with our topics. So how do you annihilate a person the best? I want to quote from the Constitution of Germany and such the UN Human Rights Charter. The human dignity is inviolable. The human dignity is inviolable. The human worth is untouchable. You must not touch the core worth of another human. How often do we break this constitutional law? Almost every day. We devalue ourselves, we devalue others. This is happening all the time. So to really stay stable in my trainings, I need to protect my value as it was the holy grail in saying, you must not touch my value. If you make it to attack my value and I'm feeling attacked in my core value as Sebastian, I'm off. Why? Because how do we react when our deepest core value is attacked and we feel the attack as well? Of course, it's fear. Fear of annihilation, fear of being killed metaphorically in our self-esteem in front of everybody. So it's fear. The reaction to attacks to your self-worth, self-esteem is fear. And what are the three reactions to fear? It's flight, fight, freeze. Flight, you run away. Yeah, sorry, maybe we can do a different topic. Fight, what's your problem? Freeze is stuttering, you don't find the words. These are the three reactions out of fear. You can fight, but out of cognition is the smart thing to fight. Cold-blooded, not hot-blooded. This is all hot-blooded. And believe me, hot-blooded, the likelihood is 99% that you do something stupid, that you say something stupid. So if I fight, I just fight cold-blooded, out of cognition, not out of the limbic system, not out of my emotions, out of smartness, out of strategic thinking. If I flight, I will also flight. I just do it out of cognition. And if I freeze, I do it out of cognition, and it looks different. For instance, flight out of cognition is, okay, maybe we should skip the topic, but you don't show fear in your eyes. Fight out of cognition is, so this we will stop now. Cool, slow, not yeah. Freeze out of cognition is, yeah. These are the differences. If you do it out of fear, believe me, it's probably harmful to your career, to yourself. So I need to protect my value that I'm not getting into this red area. The red area is the red area. Must not go there. And how did I manage to protect my self-value? I built up, like pawns in chess, a protection against the attacks that are coming. And these pawns are roles. Roles. It's a sociological concept, the role. And what is a role? A role is a set of behaviors. You do change your behavior in a certain way. Then you take on a new role. Are you playing a role right now? I don't know. If you were in one of my trainings, the answer would be yes, because you would be sitting there. And then the people say, no, I'm not playing any role. Of course you play a role. There is a social role in trainings. You're sitting on the chair that sets your behavior. And what is it? Participant or pupil. Some people mix it up with pupil. Participant or student. Student is sitting, student is following, student is answering when I'm asking questions. So as I said, sometimes the student or participant is mixed up with the pupil. And then I have 50-year-old, strong, rich men sitting there behaving like 15-year-olds, whispering, disturbing, and falling into a behavior that's absolutely immature. Why? Because they are not role conscious. They don't understand that this setting that they're probably not used to reactivates an old role that has absolutely nothing to do with this setting over here. Again, I use roles all the time. I'm playing a role right now. I'm super conscious to speak slowly, to speak clearly, to adapt my body language to my content. I'm super conscious to leave breaks after my sentences so you can digest the content in a better way. Now. So I'm playing now the role trainer. The role trainer has a little bit of a professor sometimes. The role trainer with me has the psychologist. The role trainer is also the coach when we interact. The role trainer is maybe the listener. The role trainer is also the dictator who says what's happening. Yeah, I'm making the plan over here. The role trainer is also the fighter. The role trainer is ta 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 ta. You have all these sub-roles connected to your main role. And the more variability you have in the sub-roles, the more successful you will be. The more variability you have in your sub-roles, the more you have, the more successful you will be. Because believe me, I have all the groups in the world with all the different nations, different personalities. How can I make 100% gain? Not with one role, also not with 5 roles. With maybe 50 roles, I'm switching slightly in this training and catching one person with one role and another person with another role. The cool thing is, if you're role conscious, because most people don't even know that they're constantly in roles. If there's one other person in the room, I'm pretty sure that you're playing a role. Even if it's your wife or your partner or your husband, you are in a role. You behave differently, slightly, than when the person is not there. Maybe then suddenly one of your kids is entering. Your role changes again. Maybe your mother comes to visit. Your role changes again. Then you go into the tramway. You go by public means of transport to work. There's a clear behavior how you behave in public means of transport. Maybe you flying tomorrow. It's also a role. It's a set of behaviors. In other contexts, you would not tolerate a butt in this distance of your face. But in the plane, as you know the role, you do. Roles are the recipe how we live together consciously and successfully as human beings. 7 billion, 8 billion human beings couldn't live together on such a small space without roles. But who are the smarter ones? Those who consciously play roles and not are played all the time. Just to go back to the topic, the next time the shitstorm comes, it never goes through my role. So the only thing you can attack is the trainer Sebastian. And the trainer Sebastian is super capable of feedback. Even if you tell me, Sebastian, this was the worst training ever, I can say thank you very much for your feedback. What is it exactly what you disliked so much? Sebastian up here would say, I'm doing this for 15 years, look at yourself, yeah, I'm great. Would go with defense or fight mode instantly. The roles can be professional because they are distant from your self-esteem. The roles are mainly defined by what you do, while this is what you are. And if you can disconnect at least the social roles from your essence, then you're not that easily offended, meaning you can be fair. You never go into flight, fight, freeze. Probably you have the role leader, yeah? Meaning you're probably also a follower of something. If you are not the complete owner of the company, you're a follower as well. Then meaning you are maybe a consultant sometimes. Maybe you have to decide a lot, the decider. Then you have to be the psychologist, the listener, the inspirator. You have a lot of roles as well. And the more roles you have over here, the better it is. Why, for instance, do you think in the United States, people instantly go and have dinner with you and your family? So the gathering together of you and your family is a very normal thing in business in the United States. Because they want to get you in a different role. They want to get to know you in the role as a father, as a husband, as a wife. They want to see how are you in different roles. How do they do this in Eastern Europe or also in Western Europe? They drink a lot. Because when you drink, you can't keep up your roles. You have to show to a certain extent who you are. You're becoming politically incorrect. You're showing your inner core. People want to trust people. And of course, the better you play the roles, the less you can trust these people because they're super conscious. There is a way, I'm coming to it. So what is now, and I know the question is already arising in your brain, what is then authenticity? If this role game is something we do in business and you play it consciously and I do play it consciously, how can I be sure that I can trust you? How can I be sure that you are authentic? By the way, authentic does not mean that you do not control your impulses. You do not fart when you don't have to fart, because this would be authentic. I need to fart, I fart, no matter where. We learned it's not adequate. It's not the right role to fart in a meeting. So we are not 100% authentic anymore because we control ourselves the moment we are with other people, the moment we are an adult. By the way, this is also why it's funny for a 1-year-old to fart and everybody's applauding. And for a 20-year-old, it's not funny anymore. Because we expect a certain role consciousness from an adult. And we do not expect it from a kid because you need a social concept in your brain that you can play this role game of life. How do you know if somebody is authentic? Authentic people connect all their roles to their values. They connect all their roles to your values. So you will recognize these people no matter in which role they are. For instance, with me, I'm speaking super correctly, behaving super correctly, but I'm standing for some things. I'm standing for confronting uncomfortable topics. This is one of my values. And you will recognize this value, even though I'm a little bit drunk on an ice hockey game and not speaking that nicely as I do today. You will say, this is also Sebastian, even though he behaves completely differently. So, authentic people have all their roles connected to your values, and what they get for this is trust. Because you know, no matter where I meet him, of course the person behaves adequate to the context, but still stands behind their essence, their values. What are the crazy sociopaths doing? And they exist out there as well. Unfortunately, a lot of them are very smart. They have their roles completely disconnected from their values. Probably they don't even have any idea what their values are. These roles are free floating, disconnected to everything. The problem is in war, these people quickly change their shape, their role to whatever is needed because they don't have a moral structure behind telling them what to do and not to do. These are the really dangerous ones. Those are the ones who got promoted and now as a C-level guy, suddenly they don't talk to you anymore because they have a new role, and this new role includes, I don't care about heads of division or team leads down there. The real psychopath has the role concept included, but free-floating because they have no idea what their values are, and these roles can change to everything. These people are really dangerous. You can use them, because they're always strategic, but you can never rely on them in emergency situations, because they will always change their role to their benefit, whatever it is, and let you fall like a hot potato in a second. This is the role concept. This is how you deliver as a leader stability, because these roles can be held stable. While over here, of course, as a core, in my core, I have my moods, I have my ups, my downs, my self-doubt. The role is shaped. And in the next step, I want to show you how social interaction with these roles is consciously steered by yourself, by smart leaders.